Hi, everybody. That's Allie.
And that is Dash.
Welcome to our playdate,
where we choose a game, sometimes make up our own rules, and play for a while.
Enjoy listening and playing along.
Or don't. We can't hear you. It's a podcast.
You've watched The Office?
I've watched it, but it was a long time ago. It was in the pandemic.
Oh,
wow. I watched it partially when it was on. I would watch it from time to time. I watched all of the British one, and then I would watch episodes here and there, and then I finally watched the entire thing from beginning to end in the pandemic. Because what else did I have to do?
In the days before Netflix, we used to wait for the DVDs to come out, buy the DVD season, and then do watch parties and binge the entire season of The Office in a weekend. It was like that. So,
I feel like this is a movie trailer for that movie. In a time before streaming services, friends got together to watch DVDs until one day the DVD came to life. It's a slasher film where a DVD... No?
No, maybe not a slasher film, but...
That could be a real dumb horror movie, though.
In the day before Netflix.
In a time. Hey, little ghosties.
Hey, little ghosties.
We're talking about the Office trivia game today.
Specifically the American version of The Office.
The American version of the Office trivia game.
I'm gonna get
That's right.
Yeah.
And we're gonna play it using our Playdate with Dash and Allie board. First person to 10 correct
10?
answers wins.
Yeah. Oh, we got to start off the board.
Yeah.
There we go. Yeah. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Actually.
All right, 9 correct answers.
I need to make a new board because this 9 number is throwing me
9.
off. You like 9?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's nice.
All right. Just for you, Allie. We'll keep it at 9. But yeah, this is how we're going to keep track of who wins and loses this game. Is we're going to play on the Playdate Dash and Allie board.
That's right. If you want to actually see what that board looks like, we are on video on YouTube and Spotify. If you just want to listen to it, we will let you know what's happening. But I always play the yellow and Dash always plays the blue.
Yeah, because those are our favorite colors.
And
we have little ghosties as our play pieces.
And I'm gonna roll the D20
to see who goes first.
8.
Allie got an 8, and I got a 17 again.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dash
awesome.
Goes first again.
So yeah, we're gonna play The Office because The Office is one of those cultural phenomena that it came out as sort of revolutionized the genre of comedy TV.
So many comedies now are that same style, that documentary style.
What did they call it? Mockumentary?
Yeah. Like Abbott Elementary uses this, which is a great show. Parks and Rec did it.
Yep. Brooklyn Nine-Nine sort of does it. But they got rid of the confessional. I feel like every one of these mockumentary shows that have come from that have spawned from The Office have evolved it in their own way.
Yeah.
Because even Parks and Rec, right? Like Parks and Rec wasn't as documentary heavy. I'll give you an example. In The Office, at one point, they acknowledge the fact that they're making a documentary.
Right.
And they use it as a plot point. In Parks and Rec, the documentary aspect is there, but you never really find out what the documentary is for, who's doing the documentary.
Right, exactly.
It's never involved. You never see the camera people.
Yeah.
Right? Once you go to Brooklyn Nine-Nine, it's the same sort of style, but now they've gotten rid of the confessionals in favor of flashbacks.
Right.
Right. So you've kind of seen the evolution of this style of comedy. But one thing that this show got rid of was the laugh track. And as of The Office, more and more comedies are coming out that don't have a laugh track.
Which I love. I find a laugh track super distracting. Yeah. It's one of the things I don't like about Friends.
Oh, what you're saying is you don't... Yeah, okay. You love that they got rid of the laugh track.
Yes, I love that they got rid of it. I want to laugh when I laugh.
Yeah.
I don't want you to tell me when to laugh.
Correct, yeah.
Because I find odd things funny sometimes.
Yes.
I'm the person at the improv show who's cackling at the weirdest line.
Right. When somebody says Mars bar instead of Hershey's or chocolate bar.
When somebody names a gerbil au jus. I lost my mind.
Yeah.
It was the funniest thing I'd ever heard. Can I explain why? No.
No. But this is why you have to go to improv shows because that made no sense unless you watched it.
That's right.
and it was the funniest thing I'd ever heard.
Okay.
So yeah, they got rid of the laugh track. And when you're done watching this episode of Playdate with Dash and Allie, go watch a couple more episodes of Playdate with Dash and Allie, but then go see where they take clips of Friends or The Big Bang Theory and they remove the laugh track so that it just becomes this weird, awkward silence between the things that people say.
Right, because they're not funny.
Right.
Because they are not funny.
Correct. Like
I can't speak to Big Bang Theory. I have never watched an episode. I have been in a room with people watching episodes, half paying attention, and I have never found it funny. Great. Let's move on, shall we?
Yes, let's shall.
We don't need to get into we'll get into my controversial TV opinions.
So Allie,
later.
I'm gonna answer first.
Okay.
So you pick a trivia.
All right.
And
how many times through have you watched The Office?
I mean, the limit does not exist.
Okay, got it.
I watched them. I was still watching them when they were on TV, so I got to see the final 2 or 3 seasons as they happened. I think starting in season 4 was when me and my then girlfriend would buy the DVD seasons and then just like binge them in a weekend.
Right.
Then, yeah, I watched it to completion. Then when it came out on Netflix, I would watch it on Netflix, like in the background.
Mm-hmm.
So I've probably watched the whole season of The Office 4 or 5 times, maybe.
So you're definitely going to be.
I'm definitely a fan. It's just that there's a couple of shows that I rotate through that I watch as my comfort shows.
Yeah.
They're just like, look, I don't have time to sit down and watch an entire movie. I don't have the mental capacity because I'm working on a craft or something to pay attention to something new. So I'll put on either The Office, Superstore, Parks and Rec, Brooklyn Nine-Nine,
Bob's Burgers.
or Bob's Burgers.
Yeah.
Those are my 5 go-to shows. Occasionally I'll put on The Good Place or Modern Family. Psych is also on that list. So yeah, maybe it's a show, maybe it's a rotation of like 10 different shows, but I'll just like watch those until I've watched them all and then I'll watch them again and like that. And this is made by, so this is a game by Spin Master Games in association with Peacock, which is the NBC streaming service.
That's right.
Yeah.
So Dash, who told Angela that the only premature baby in the room was the one her baby ate?
Okay, that was either Kevin or Oscar, and I want to say it's just sassy enough to be Oscar.
It is Oscar.
It is Oscar.
Yes.
Excellent. Yes.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, Angela has a baby and she calls him premature. It's funny because right before they go into the room to see Angela and the new baby, Oscar is telling everybody, he's like, okay, listen, Angela's baby is a few weeks premature, so I need prepare yourself and don't be shocked because premature babies can be pretty small. And then they walk into the room and it's this like giant monster baby who is basically 2 years old already with hair and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And they're like shocked at how big the child is. And she keeps insisting that it's a premature baby because clearly it's not her husband's baby. So yeah, so that's why it was, because it like the setup to it was very funny. Okay, Allie. Who created a chore wheel that had no chores when the custodian went on vacation for a month?
I mean, that sounds like a Michael Scott thing.
It was Pam.
Pam.
At one point in the show, Pam is the office administrator.
Yeah.
And she creates a chore wheel when the janitor leaves so that everybody can take some responsibility. But then they were like, there's no fun things on this chore wheel. So like, why doesn't the chore wheel spin? And she's like, no, because it's not like a prize wheel. It rotates so that everybody gets a different task every day so that it's fair. But they were like, chore wheel. They made to make it a spinning prize wheel. So then you would spin it and whatever prize you won was the chore you ended up having to do. So like Kevin gets cleaned the bathrooms and they're all like celebrating, but he grabs a mop bucket and leaves to the bathroom. There's even a mini wheel. So when you're spinning the chore wheel, it lands on mini wheel. They break out this little mini wheel and spin that. I'm going to talk about this show a lot. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. On the wall of Mr. Chu's Chinese restaurant, who was in a photo holding up a sign that said thief?
There were two, actually. It was Michael Scott and Creed.
This says
It just says
Creed.
Michael. It says Creed?
This says
okay.
Creed,
yeah. But Michael Scott was also on the wall. It was that episode.
Saying thief?
Well, I believe so. Because the whole point is when you dine and dash at Mr. Chu's Chinese restaurant, they take your picture, they put it up on the wall. And then they're showing a picture of Michael Scott. But then when right before the scene ends, the camera pans over and Creed is also standing there holding the sign. Who dressed up as a sexy nurse for the Halloween contest?
I don't remember.
I wouldn't have gotten this one.
I wanted to be Kevin.
Oh, Angela.
That was my second guess.
It was one of the accountants. It was Angela.
That was my second guess, Angela.
Yeah. And I think it was because she had to wear a costume and that was the only thing left in her size. Because she's like a children's 3 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who hit Dwight in the face with a snowball during a, quote, dusting?
Jim.
Yes, he did.
Yeah. Jim. Oh wait, I got the Creed one right.
Yes. It's 3-0, everybody.
Which on-screen kiss was improvised in the moment?
The Jim and Pam kiss, wasn't it?
No. Not improvised in the moment.
Wait. That was the Michael Scott Oscar kiss.
Yes.
Yeah.
The Michael Scott Oscar kiss. It was supposed to end during that hug, and then he ends up awkwardly kissing Oscar.
Yeah, that made me really uncomfortable.
That was
It was really uncomfortable.
I guess that's kind of the point, though, that it's supposed to be uncomfortable. Yeah. Although we didn't find out it was an improvised kiss until way later on.
Michael Scott is so problematic. I'm sorry. He just some of the episodes of The Office really make me cringe.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Especially that first season.
And I don't give Michael Scott a pass. I just don't. Yeah. I'm sorry. You don't get to like bumble your way through it. Yeah. Like you're
a grown
inappropriate and you're grown and you're gross.
Yeah. Well, you've heard
it's not fun. It's not funny. It's just icky.
Have we ever talked about the radon theory of why everybody in the office is so weird?
Maybe.
Okay. So throughout the seasons, every now and again, Toby will come in complaining about that there's radon exposure or radon leaks, and even brings out like radon detectors into the office that Michael keeps throwing away. If you look up the symptoms of radon after prolonged exposure to it, it makes you act weird and disoriented and all that other stuff. So apparently throughout the seasons, people just kept getting weirder and weirder and weirder. And it was because of the radon poisoning. And there are other hints to this in that when Michael Scott leaves and then he comes back for Dwight's wedding in the final season, he's almost normal.
Right, that's true.
Right? And it's because now he's gone from the radon exposure. Even Holly, people who join the show, they join the show almost as normal people who don't really have any quirky endeavors. And then as their progression on the show goes on, they become weirder and quirkier.
Huh.
It happens to Aaron. It happens to the guy that Aaron eventually starts dating. It happens to Andy. Remember, Andy comes in and he's just like this straight kind of annoying guy, but then he just but then he just becomes this freaking weirdo, right? Like it just happens.
Maybe.
Yeah. So it's the radon poisoning theory.
Okay.
Yeah. All right, Allie. When trying to prove his foot dexterity, who dumped a mug of hot coffee onto his lap?
That seems a Dwight thing.
That is a Dwight thing, yes.
It's a very Dwight thing to do.
Yep. He's like, yep, Jim, just a few minutes a day of me using my feet and I will have the foot dexterity of a chimpanzee.
Which character was fired in the second season during downsizing and rehired in the last episode?
Oh, I want to say his name is Devin.
You should say that.
It is Devin?
It's Devin.
Way to go, Devin.
Wow.
He didn't do anything in the first season. He was like a background character. And then I think they just needed somebody to fire at some point.
Sorry, Devin.
Yeah, sorry, Devin. But he
came and he was like, guys, I got cast on another show. Can I go?
Yeah, if I'm just going to be in the background, can I just go?
And they were like, yeah, you're fired. Wait, let's film this. Devin, you're fired.
Who was Dwight dressed like when he started attacking Jim in the office with snowballs?
Oh man.
Yeah. It ends up that he actually has costumes of everybody in the office, but the one that he was dressed at when he hits Jim with the snowball is the first one. I'll give you a clue. They were sitting in the same office island. And the same desk island. Desk cluster?
I mean, the only two people who sit there are Jim and Dwight, right?
There was a third. A few times, actually.
I don't.
It's
Ryan?
Pam. Pam. Yeah.
No, Pam sat at the front desk.
Pam sat at the front desk, but when she became a salesperson, she got to sit in the desk cluster.
Got it.
With the three of them, with the two of them. When she left to art school, she was replaced by Ryan in the desk cluster.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, go ahead. I'm ahead by 2. It's not that bad.
Who did Dwight think takes 50 minutes to style his hair?
Jim.
Yes.
Yeah. I believe this is when they were on not vacation. They were at a conference in Florida or something like that. Who kept a list of everyone who wronged him? A hint, it's not Dwight.
Yeah, I was gonna say that sounds like a Dwight thing.
Yeah, it sounds like a very Dwight thing, but I'll give you the nod. Who kept a list of everyone who wronged him? It's actually it's a GIF that gets used a lot now.
Creed?
Ryan. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a he's like sitting there and he goes, I actually have a list of everyone who wrongs me. And then they go and they pan and they show somebody wronging him, and then it comes back and he just goes, and he writes it on the pad. It's a GIF that you can look up.
He's such a bad person in that
Yes, he
show. But BJ Novak is he's a great writer. I read a book of his short stories. They're really good. He wrote a movie. I can't think of the name of it right now, but he wrote a movie that was really good.
Yeah. He
You know what's the name of that movie? It's so good. He's in it.
He is in it.
Ethan Hawke is in it. Is it Ethan Hawke?
I don't know.
Who's in it?
And it's a drama, right?
It's a drama.
Yeah.
He plays like a podcaster who goes to Texas to investigate. This girl that he like slept with one time dies.
Oh.
And her family's like, oh, we can't wait to meet you. She talks so much about you. Okay. Almost like he was her boyfriend, but he didn't think that he was. So he goes to the funeral and kind of starts investigating her death as a podcaster.
Huh. Okay. It's not the Tara Greenstead story,
who
is it?
In it? No, it's not. Anyway, it's a really good movie.
Wow.
Ashton Kutcher. Sorry, Ashton Kutcher is in it.
Little Ghosties, if you know the name of that movie with BJ Novak and Ashton Kutcher.
And John Mayer's in it.
And John Mayer, where he goes back to investigate somebody's death. Leave it in the comments. Let us know what it is.
Yeah, it's like a dark comedy, but it's really good.
I will say this. In contrast to what we were talking about in the last episode, where Kevin James writes a movie where Selma Hayek falls in love with him, I do appreciate that BJ Novak, being one of the writers, wrote his character as a bad person who doesn't have a redeeming factor.
Yeah.
And he doesn't, even at the end, he doesn't.
He's garbage the whole time.
Right. The two people who were writers on that show wrote themselves as terrible characters who in the end did not redeem themselves.
Right.
Which is Kelly and Ryan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mindy Kaling and BJ Novak.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, as opposed to writing themselves as the heroes.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that. Who started the fire, prompting
Ryan.
Dwight?
Ryan started the fire.
Ryan started the fire.
Ryan started it with a Hot Pocket.
I was about to give you a bonus spot if you could name what it was.
It was either a Hot Pocket or a Pop-Tart.
It was a quesadilla.
Oh.
Yeah.
Shoot. I thought it was a Hot Pocket.
Yeah, so you wouldn't have gotten the extra point anyway.
All right.
Yeah. Michael says, oh, I forgot my phone. And Dwight goes, I've got it, Michael. And he runs back into the burning building looking for Michael's phone. And then after a certain amount of time, Dwight hasn't come out yet. Everybody's worried. And Michael's phone rings in his pocket. He ended up having it like in his coat pocket.
Yeah, of course he did.
Yeah.
Who wanted to own a decommissioned lighthouse that could launch into space?
Ooh. Stanley.
Yeah.
It was Stanley.
What a beautiful dream, Stanley.
It is.
Stanley loves space travel and pretzels. And frankly, I respect it.
It was in the episode where everybody in the warehouse won the lottery. So then they started asking everybody in the office what they would do if they won the lottery. And it says, I would move to a lighthouse that would launch into space. I love Stanley.
I love Stanley
He's
too.
one of the most underrated characters on that show.
Yeah, I love him.
Who did Michael think was the smartest person in the office?
Himself.
Oscar. Oscar's the smartest person in the office.
He still works there, so he's not that smart.
No.
Who referred to golf betting games as Skins, AC Doocy, Bingo, Bango, Bongo, Sandy's, Barkies, and Wolf?
Kevin.
Okay. I don't even know what any of that means.
No.
But okay.
They were in a, he's
Great.
like, hey, do you wanna bet on this game? And he goes, yeah, I'll bet. What are you talking about? Skins, AC Doocy, Bingo Bongo, Sandy's, Barkies. He just goes through the list. He's got a gambling problem, is what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
Those are all different types of betting on golf.
I guess, yeah.
Okay.
Or I think just betting in general.
Got it.
Yeah. Skins, AC Doocy. I don't know what that means, but yeah, I'm sure that's those are all betting terms. He's the one who bet. He was like, if anybody ever offers you 10,000 to 1, take that bet. If Kobe Bryant ever wins an Oscar, I'm gonna be a rich man.
Well, sorry, Kevin. I have bad news.
No, he did.
Kobe Bryant?
Yeah.
Won an Oscar?
Yeah, he produced a movie that won an Oscar.
Oh.
Yeah.
Great. Good for Kevin.
And I actually think that's wrong. I don't think it was Kobe Bryant, but
No, it was LeBron James, I think is who you're thinking of.
oh, okay.
LeBron
No. Kobe Bryant produced a movie that won an Oscar, but the quote on The Office was not if Kobe Bryant ever wins.
Oh.
Yeah, I think it was like if John Mellencamp ever wins an Oscar
Oh.
or something like that. It was somebody who would never win an Oscar. Yeah. Who was going to try to make Michael cry during the roast? So they did.
Who's going to try to make Michael cry?
Yeah, at one point, Michael was like, okay, we're going to do a roast of Michael Scott. And then he sets up a roast, which is a terrible idea.
Andy?
It was Oscar.
Oscar?
He goes, yeah. When they were like, what are you going to, I guess they did the interview sections and he was like, my goal is to try to make him cry.
Mm.
And then he just yells a bunch of stuff at him in Spanish. It was, I felt really bad for Michael though during that. He sets himself up.
Who does Michael refer to as Booster Seat when he wanted her to stop talking?
I mean, it's got to be Angela.
Because she's like,
she's
that's
tiny.
the joke,
Yeah.
right? Is she's tiny.
She's very tiny.
Dash is 2 away from winning, and I am 3 away from the beginning.
Ooh, here we go. Who played Voodoo Mama Juju, the witch doctor, in the murder game played at the office?
Yikes. Someone horrifying.
It's-
It was probably Andy or something.
So I don't know if you remember this episode. No, it was way before Andy was there. I think it was even in the first season. Oh, no, it wasn't in the first season because at this point, Jim was one of the co-managers. It was when the office was going to be downsized. Not downsized.
It was Michael.
When it got sold.
Michael would do that too.
Yeah. He started the game. He was like, we're going to play the murder game. And Angela played the voodoo witch doctor.
Yeah.
But it makes sense that this was a joke because it's against type. Like Angela's super religious, but the character that she has to play in this game is Voodoo Mama Juju,
Yeah.
the witch doctor.
Big yikes, Michael.
Yeah.
Just big yikes all around.
Excuse me.
Who was the secretary of Knights of the Night?
Secretary of Knights of the Night. I think it was Dwight.
Yes.
Yeah.
Knight of the Night, Dwight.
Yeah. So do you remember that episode?
No.
Jim walks in because he forgot his phone
Is
or
it like
something.
a secret society or something?
It's kind of like the Guardian Angels, where they like wear orange vest. In this case, they wore red beanies. But they're having their meeting on like a Saturday morning or whatever.
In the office.
And Jim walks
That's
in. He's like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And they're like, Dwight goes, "You're gonna make fun of us." And like, "No, we're not. I'm not gonna make fun of you." So he starts reading the minutes from the last meeting, and he ends up making fun of himself.
Yeah.
Like in the meetings, they were testing out their new flashlights, and then they ended up playing flashlight tag for 2 hours or something. He's like, "I can hear you making fun of us, Jim." He's like, "Nope, I haven't said anything." He's like, they made fun of themselves. Who said to Andy, "Talk to me that way again, and I'll cut your face off"? Oh my God.
Probably Angela.
Aaron.
Oh.
Very,
Yeah.
yeah.
Ellie Kemper, right?
Ellie Kemper.
I forgot she was on the show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was on the show after the 4th or 5th season?
And she was kind of like a dummy, right?
Yeah.
Like she worked with Pam or whatever.
She was the receptionist
After Pam.
right after. So Pam and Michael leave to start the Michael Scott Paper Company.
Okay.
And then Aaron gets hired as Pam's replacement, and her name is Kelly. So like her real first name is Kelly. So every time Idris Elba's character would say, Kelly, can you come in here, please? Kelly comes in and says, yes, you wanted me. Because she was trying to do like a Pavlov's dog thing where if she said, yes, you wanted me that over and over again, eventually he would actually want her. Yeah.
Yeah. Honestly, solid attempt, Kelly.
Yeah. I mean, go for it.
Yeah. Idris Elba is a beautiful man.
Yeah.
Yeah. This could be your winning question.
This could be my winning question.
And I think it's very apt. Who called the bedroom her gym?
Oh, man. Okay, so it was.
We have not mentioned her.
We have. It was either Phyllis. It was either Phyllis or Meredith, who we have not mentioned once yet on this podcast episode. I'm gonna shot in the dark say Meredith.
No.
Phyllis? Yeah. It was 50-50. I took my shot.
Vance Refrigeration.
Yeah. Ooh, fun fact about the Vance Refrigeration thing. Pretty weird quirk, right? Every time he introduces himself, he says Vance Refrigeration.
Mm-hmm.
They were being filmed for a documentary. So every time Vance would introduce himself, he would say the name of his company so that it would be in the documentary. That's why he would introduce himself. Hi, Vance Refrigeration. Vance Refrigeration. These are little things they don't talk about, they don't mention on the show at all, but like going back and watching it, you're like, that was weird. Why did he do that? It's because it's a documentary.
Yeah, that makes sense, right.
Who's Dundee said bushiest beaver when it should have said busiest beaver?
Pam?
Phyllis.
Oh, double Phyllis.
Yeah. Little double Phyllis.
The Dundee was that episode where they all got like quote unquote Oscars, right?
Like every year they would do the Dundee Awards.
Okay.
And she got the bushiest beaver award.
Instead of busiest
beaver.
Whoops. Who was only a little stitious? It's not superstitious. You're only a little stitious.
I'm not superstitious, but I am a little stitious.
Yeah.
That sounds like my Michael Scott joke, and I even think it's a pretty popular gif.
Yes.
Yay!
Dash wins.
I win.
Very expected.
Yes, very, very expected.
Very expected.
So yes, again, this was a trivia game of The Office, a cult show that is still watched to this day, and it is with Peacock, who is the streaming service where you can watch The Office now. Fun fact, you can watch the regular release of The Office, or they have super fan episodes of The Office with extended and deleted scenes that have not previously been seen. So if you go on Peacock, you can get that. Yeah. Very cool. And I believe I got this. I'm pretty sure I got this actually at Five Below.
Okay.
So this is one of those games that you can get at Five Below.
Should we do a quick little rate?
Yeah, let's do a quick rate.
Rate and review.
Yeah.
I like that the cards look like paper and they have the three like iconic characters. So Pam and Michael and Jim are on the cards, and they kind of look like pieces of paper. You know, you see the holes there. So I like that. They're just regular size playing cards, and then the other side also has paper, but it's like grid paper.
Yeah, it's grid paper. One thing I will say that I'm not big on this game is all of the trivia questions are who this, who that, and it's a character name.
Yeah.
None of these, at least none of the ones that we played were really like they didn't talk about locations. They didn't talk about situations. It wasn't
they're all character names.
They're all character names, right? So which fine, I guess, if that's your jam. But me personally, in my trivia games, I like a little bit more substance.
Sure.
Right.
Oh, no. The ghosts of the office know that we're talking about
they know
them.
that we're talking
Oh,
about them. Okay, we
okay.
better wrap this up while we
better
still
wrap
have
this up.
lighting.
We're losing a light.
Yeah, the box is a regular box. It's
Yeah,
a
it's
playing
like
card box.
Yeah, it's like a regular playing card box. You could easily toss this in a bag
Yeah.
or in your car to like play on a road trip, which is great. Pretty simple box.
Yeah.
I'll give the box a I'll give it like a box that you keep to put somebody's little Christmas present in because you lost the original box.
Right.
So you so that's what that's giving.
I accept that. Fun.
I wish I had watched The Office more recently. I probably would have had more fun if that was the case. But if you're a huge fan, this is definitely fun and obviously easy to play.
Yeah,
Super
very
easy to play.
You read the question, you answer the question.
Exactly.
Done. Yeah. Very cool.
Can't get easier.
No, can't get easier. So, little ghosties, that was the Office trivia game from Spin Master and Peacock that I found at Five Below. Tune in for our next episode because we're going to play a trivia game for a show that was rumored to be a spin-off of The Office. Ooh. Find out what that is next week. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Thanks for listening, everyone. Now we'd love to hear from you.
You can visit playdatepod.us to watch our videos,
Access our episode library,
find out more about our brand of quality, clean comedy,
and contact us with any questions or comments.
Improvisers love audience suggestions, so make sure you visit playdatepod.us.
And the podcast you just heard was a production of Society Circus Players.
If you like what you heard today, please rate, review, subscribe, and share it with a friend.
And finally, if life's a circus, we're the clowns!
You gotta check that light.
Yeah, I gotta find out what's going on. Because like last time it would flicker and go off.
But now it's
it's just stayed on.
Are you okay?
Lighting, can you hear me?